Hey everybody, this is Aaron Shell here, and this is my first draft video ever, so excuse me if I make a few mistakes, but I guess I should tell you a little bit more about myself. I am a Simic player. I've done a few PTQs, usually placed in like the top 30, not top 30, like top 60 or so. I really haven't had the chance to really go to those big tournaments yet, and that's something I'm hoping to work on, but I'm going to be doing some cube drafting today. Cube is a format that I really enjoy. It's very deep, and I've done this cube here probably about 20, 30 times. I really enjoy it, and so if you disagree with any of the picks I made or have anything to say, just leave it in the comments, and I would love to see it. And without further ado, we are going to start. All right, here we go. Pack 1. This is not that exciting a pack. I don't think Isperia is that good in Cube because she wasn't that good in Limited. Like, she was just like a 6/4 beat stick that occasionally drew you some cards. Mimic Fat is always a fine pick. Godless Shrine's another choice. This is a tough one. Honestly, I think we might go Stagger Shock or Devil's Play. They're just a good red removal spell, and there's no real bomb cards in this pack, unfortunately. I don't value Armada Worm very high in Cube. There's better things you could be doing at 6 mana. So I think we go Stagger Shock and maybe go into the mono red deck if that's open. Alright. Okay, so this is a bit more of an interesting pack. We've got some ramp here. Him to Turok is always good. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is a interesting place because it's obviously we can pick up Magma Jet and really try to force this red deck and hope to wheel a Curse Scroll or a Goblin Legionnaire. Or I think Him to Turok is the more powerful spell. Or we can try to go green and have a little ramp. I think we're going to pick Magma Jet here. But if you guys disagree, definitely, leave something in the comments telling me why. I just think right now there's no red cards in the pack, so other than the Legionnaire, and that's not that great of a card. So when we take the Magma Jet, we're just pushing someone into these colors here, and hopefully no one will be picking red the next pack. Alright, this is an interesting pack also. Mutavault is good, but I'm not sure how good Flames is in the cube because a lot of things have more than 1 or 2 toughness, and so you're not as likely to get a 2-for-1 out of this as you were in M10 Limited. And so it seems to me just like a really expensive bolt now with a chance for a 2-for-1. But I think we may pick up this Armageddon, basically. I really like splashing white for Armageddon in the red decks. It just gives you wins out of nowhere. And the only other choices would be Flames or Mutavault. Flames is probably a pretty low pick for people, so it may come around. So let's pick up our Ravages here. Alright. We're not getting that great of cards for our deck. I'm a little bit concerned, so we may be switching here into something else. Mirror Entity is a good pick for a white weenie deck. We could try to switch into more of a white build with red removal backup. Chandra the Firebrand is not my favorite Planeswalker. She's just not that good in Cube. She's not that good in pretty much any format anyway. So I think our pick may actually be Chandra, because We just want to make sure that no one goes into red, so we actually get set up with red cards in the next couple packs. I think let's just take Chandra. And hopefully, if we don't get anything in the next couple packs, we'll have to jump ship here. Okay, we got Big Chandra. I like Big Chandra a lot, actually. Probably my favorite Planeswalker besides Jace the Mind Sculptor ever. Couple things we may want: Hope to Wheel or the Crusader and the Mind Sensor. These are both good cards. There is a board wipe here and a Profane Command. I don't actually like Profane Command that much. It's a fine card. It's just pretty expensive for what it does. But I think the pick is just Chandra here. Okay, so we're getting a bit more things now. We're getting a Searing Blaze. I like Searing Blaze a lot in the red deck. Scalding Tarn, but we really want this removal here. Okay, another interesting pick. We can go Siege Gang Commander or Spike Shot Elder. I don't think this deck wants Wildfire. Like, I think Siege Gang Commander is the better card, but this could be better for our deck. I don't actually. I think Siege Gang Commander is better because we go Siege Gang Commander, Ravages of War, and that's pretty tough to beat. I think we go Siege Gang here. Alright. I think the choice is Taran Mauler here. Amiria Angel is really good. I really like this card. We may actually end up taking that, but we don't have that many 3-drops. And I actually like Taran Mauler, even though he's not the best thing he could ever be. He's a really bad late game draw. And our Devil's Play came around, so that's a pretty nice signal. It means hopefully, actually all the red cards came around, so that's a pretty good signal. And see, Asperia is still left in the pack because she sucks. Okay, Devil's Play is pick. Huh. Go for the Throat is still here. That's interesting. I think we pick up the Goblin Legionnaire, though. It's a tough choice between that and Step Links, but I just don't think we have enough fetches to make Step Links actually viable. And this is just a shock on a stick. And as I said, Flames of the Firebrand came around because it's not actually that good of a card in Cube. Needless to say, we'll be taking it. I've never actually cast Cataclysm before. I'm not sure if it's exactly what we want to be doing. But I'll pick it, sure. We may end up playing it. Probably not. Apparently someone's taking a lot of time thinking about their third to last pick. And the Mind Sensor came around. Alright, so we're looking pretty good so far. And the red cards came around. I think we want the Lumberjack. And the Elder came around. So we are sitting pretty for this red build, hopefully. And hopefully we get past the Vortex or Ankh of Mishra, so we can really pull this together. This pack is a little bit annoying for us. Like, there's obviously an Elspeth here, but that's not at all what our deck wants to do. The only card that we really want to pick here is Flame Tongue Kavu, because it's just a beast. It hits for 4 and it kills something when it comes into play. It's a really good card. But there's no other real cards for us here. So hopefully we'll wheel, I guess, maybe a dual land here. Maybe a Sphere of the Suns. We may play that. But we're definitely first picking this Flame Tongue. Alright. This is definitely a more interesting pick here. We've got the Rakdos Cackler, which I think this deck really needs more 1-drops because it needs to be really aggressive. Tybalt is a shitty planeswalker. He's just a trap. He's never as good as you want him to be. It's really sad because there's 3 cards we want for our deck in this pack, and we're only going to get probably 2 of them. I think Vexing Devil is probably the pick for us here because it's basically a 4 damage for 1 mana. Even though it's never exactly what you want when you want it, it represents 4 damage out of 1 card. And hopefully we wheel the Stormblood Berserker because I actually really like this card. So I think we just take Vexing Devil here. Alright, once again, interesting pack. I think I say that way too much. I'm going to try to change that if I do more videos. Because here we've got Rift Bolt, which is obviously a lightning bolt with Suspend 1. And then we have the Sacred Foundry to enable our splash for Ravages, Aven, and maybe a Legionnaire. I feel like Rift Bolt probably will wheel because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so cards in here that are better than Rift Bolt. And we really need something to enable our splashes. We saw a lot of fetch lands that first pack, so we're probably not going to see any more. So we really need to capitalize on the fixing. Alright, Hellrider and oh, come on. Are you kidding me? We're just seeing all the cards we want in 1 pack with the antithesis of our deck in it as well. But I think it's probably Koth. This is a tough one. Hellrider just closes out games like a beast, and Koth just gets you whatever you need. He's at eventual win condition, and if you drop him on an open board, he's pretty dangerous. So the choice is really between Hellrider and Koth. And looking at my build, I think Koth is the right choice here because we just don't have that many early creatures to make Hellrider broken good. So I think we take Koth and hope Hellrider wheels. He probably won't. And I think it's more likely that Koth will be picked over Hellrider. So if we take Koth, we're more likely to wheel Hellrider. Alright, finally we're getting some good cards. I think the choice here is definitely between Active Aggression and Ball Lightning. I actually like Active Aggression. Surprisingly, I used to really hate this card, but it's actually pretty good once I played with it. Being instant speed is just a huge deal. But Ball Lightning represents 6 damage. So I think we pick Ball Lightning to try to just solidify our signal. And Active Aggression may wheel. If not, Gathen Raiders will probably wheel. So I think we just pick Ball Lightning here. Alright, I think it's Wheel of Fortune here. It's either between the Tattermung Maniac or Wheel of Fortune. But I really like Wheel of Fortune here because it just messes with decks. A lot of blue decks play Library Manipulation, and if you cast this, it just wrecks what they've been trying to do, and you can get rid of a lot of bombs that they've gone searching for, and you reload up on your burn. So I think Wheel of Fortune's the pick here. This is such a late pick anyway that this will probably wheel if we actually want it. So I think Wheel of Fortune's the pick. Okay. A little bit. So we got it between Molten Rain and then the Elemental guy. I think Molten Rain is the choice because destroying a land is not it can steal games out of nowhere because it makes them stumble and you can just capitalize on that. Even though this represents more damage, this could be our last pick out of the pack because no other deck really wants it. So I think we're just picking Molten Rain here. I like land destruction anyway. This is an annoying pick. We seem to be getting the cards we want in one pack at a time, because we want both Incinerate and Urabrask. Urabrask is, I've played him in this deck and he's a lot of fun to play. He just lets you get free attacks in because your opponent's creatures enter the battlefield tapped. But I think we're going for Incinerate here. It's just more damage to hit them with. And apparently we got none of the cards we wanted back. That is very unfortunate. But I think we're going to have to take probably the Phyrexian Crusader. It's either that or Quasali Pride Mage, and this first strike is really annoying, and I hate people who play Infecting Cube because it's like I don't actually, there's not enough support for Infecting Cube is what I meant to say. I think we take this actually. This is probably the thing that's going to mess us up the most. See, all the cards came around just like I said they would. I think we take Stormblood Berserker because it's a better late game draw than Rakdos Cackler, and we need 2 drops. And Riftbolt came around. Apparently I'm very good at calling these things, because I could see turn 1 suspend Riftbolt, turn 2 bolt them, and then drop Stormblood Berserker. That seems like a pretty aggressive start, so we're gonna take that. Battlefield Forge, we're gonna pick that up. Yep, Gathan Raiders came around, like I said. I think we may actually hate Corrupt because we've got enough 5-drops as it is, and we don't want our opponents ever gaining life. So I think we're just gonna hate that out of there. Yes, get rid of the Hollow. It's a pretty good land. And last pick, like I said, there's our Thunderblust. So we're looking reasonably well with our deck right now. I would like to drive the mana cost down a little bit, get some really early beats on, but we'll see how this last pack treats us. I mean, we've got 27, so we got 25 playable cards right now. So anything that we get past this is just gravy. And we get a Goblin Guide. I love Goblin Guide a lot. Other interesting ones, Strip Mine. This card, while it's not right for our deck because we want to keep our land count pretty low, this card can just screw up people's days in so many fun ways. And a Sinkhole. So if someone's playing land destruction, they're going to be pretty happy with this pack. Treachery, good for the blue player, obviously. But it's just obviously Goblin Guide, and maybe we want to wheel either a Prismatic Lens or an Empty the Warrens, but I don't think we want any of those cards. So we only got like one option in this pack. Alright, once again we're got very few choices in this pack, but it's very nice that we actually have the Chain Lightning that we want. Sphinx of the Steel Wind is going to be really annoying for us. We'll have to kill him before it resolves. Fire Spout's good against us, and they've got some good ramp here. So this pack is not very good for us and very good for people who aren't us. But I'm going to pick up my Chain Lightning and be happy about it. Alright, this is actually a good pack for us. We got an Ankh of Mishra. I like this card a lot because, except that we're not really playing the land hate version of this deck. Like, this is much more of a burn, just burn than land hate. But we may end up picking this up. It's either that or a Kargan Dragonlord, and I actually don't like this card that much. Or a Rolling Earthquake. It's actually probably Rolling Earthquake here. This is actually a tough choice. Because this definitely won't wheel. This card is pretty good. This probably will wheel. This probably will wheel as well. But I think we want an Ankh more than we want a Dragonlord. Because this usually just, if you drop it turn 2 against control players, this usually represents like 10 damage against them. So we're just, oh, holy crap, we are getting a late Sulfuric Vortex. That is a really good card for us. I'm just going to slam this puppy and we're just going to be dancing on our way to the market. Alright, the choice here is between Chaos Warp and Mortipod. I actually like Chaos Warp a lot because it lets you deal with planeswalkers like Garruk that you would not be able to otherwise. And if you're in a really bad position and your draw doesn't give you an answer to something you need to, you can always Chaos Warp your own thing and hopefully get like Chandra Nalar. I've actually won games where I've done that and just got lucky flips. So I'm just gonna pick that card out. It's probably a sideboard card, but I like it a lot. This is a very powerful pack. Pernicious Deed. This guy is really annoying. Like, I don't value him that highly, but it basically says if you go below 6 life, you lose, and it's really annoying. I think it's between Avalanche Raiders and Grim Lavamancer. I think we choose Avalanche Riders here because we're getting more of the land hate package right now. So I think we pick up Avalanche. Grim Lavamancer may wheel because not many other decks want it. I'm just gonna a lot right now. So this is the guy that gives you 1/1 goblins. I don't like him very much. While giant, this guy is pretty good on an empty board, but I don't like it because it can just trade with their 1 or 2 drop and you sit there looking stupid. But he's really good against control, so I think we're just gonna pick him up and have him be a sideboard card right now. Like, cards we may be looking to wheel is maybe a Powder Keg. Powder Keg is fine, but it's not really what we want to be doing. Oh, Char. Wow, we're getting pretty set up here. Barbarian Ring is another valid choice, but we're just going to pick up Char. I think we take Sinkhole here, because I just don't want to play against it. I don't like Sinkhole, because it can just wreck our day a lot more. I don't know why that hasn't been chosen yet. So our deck is pretty much set up, so I would rather just take things that are going to wreck us, like a Fire Spout, than really use picks on other things. I guess a Blood Knight. I don't know if we'll play it or not, but it's better than the other cards in the pack. I guess we could have hated an Inquisition, but I'm probably not going to do that. Beacon is fine. And a Gift Hellion Crucible, will probably actually end up playing that. Slayer Stronghold, sure. And waiting for our last pick. So anyway, guys, if you thought of any reason why my logic or my reasoning was invalid, please, leave a comment. I want this to be a more open kind of thing, so you guys can, we can learn together and become better players, because that's definitely what I want to do. I want to be a better player. I want to actually do better. So, having a constructive conversation is always good. Alright, Mogwai Marshall, we're not going to play you, but it's good that we picked you up. So another question is, do we actually splash this Ravages of War? I think we don't. It's interesting. Let's put it together and see how it starts looking, because we have the Ankh here. So if we drop Ankh and then Ravages of War, they basically are going to have to take a bunch of damage, or they're just going to lose. Okay, let's look at this. We're playing you. Probably playing you. I don't think Tarn Mauler is going to make the cut. This is a maybe, because we may have enough damage that we don't actually want to play it. Not playing. I don't think we play Little Chandra. Probably play Koth. I'm just going to leave the 5-drops out for now, because we may actually be able to build a really low curve aggressive one. Converted mana cost, there you go. Vexing Devil, Spike Shot, Elder. So this is pretty aggressive here. Here's our lands. So I think we do play one Ravages. I think we do splash for Ravages of War, and we still have 3 slots left. So the choices here. are between Chandra, Wheel of Fortune, maybe a Beacon because it just hits for a ton, or maybe a Thunder Blast. Hmm. Hmm. I'm debating how good Stormblood Berserker is here, because the only ways we actually have of triggering him turn 2 is suspending our Rift Bolt and or having a Goblin Guide on the field. So that's not very likely of us to actually turn on Stormblood Berserker. But he's also a better late game draw because if we hit him, we drop him and he's a 3/3, almost unblockable. I feel like we only ever want to hit 4 land here in this deck. So I think we're going to play 16. And Chandra, I don't think Chandra is what we want to be doing either, because our 5 drops should kill them is kind of the idea. So Thunderblast, he'll probably represent 4 or 5 damage when we swing in with him, and he comes back as a 6/1. So now the choice is do we? I think we add another True Drop in Blood Knight maybe, just to kind of give us a bit more early game. I think we had 1 plane, so we have 3 sources. "16 lands, Rift Bolts turn 1. We don't have any way to pump up the Spike Shot Elder, so he may not be worth playing, but I actually like him because he just sits on an empty board and he can ping things. He's a good mana sink when you're drawing dead. Derp, 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 derp. I think this list is fine, and it's what we're going to go with. The real choice is whether or not I want more 5 drops, but I don't think we do. I think this list is fine the way it is. So I think we're just going to go to game 1. So if you have any, as always, I hate to keep repeating myself, but if you have any comments on how you think the deck should have been built, please leave them in the comments and we'll talk about it, because I love hearing what you guys have to say. So we're going to submit and then go to round 1.